Hey, it's Lisa, and welcome to a new episode of Real Money. Today, I have a guest, Sage Leblanc, who is the owner of Yellowstone Farmstead. She is a 30-year-old woman here in America today who is disrupting and changing the landscape of farming for women in small communities and for America. Today, you're going to hear about how Sage founded Yellowstone Farmstead at just 23 years old. She supplies food directly to Yellowstone National Park, and she's created a work trade housing model that attracts young women from across the country. You've got to tune into this conversation about what it takes today for women with real heart, with real vision, and a real mission to make a difference. Sage is doing that. You can do that. And I'm ready to dive in with Sage. Let's go. What I love so much about what you're doing is that you're doing what you can in your family with your generational history to make a difference, not only for the planet, but for women and for the industry. Like it's
Yeah,
across the board. You're like, well, I'm just going to do something about it. And this is what I can do. And I think that every woman can do something about it. And this is just the lane that you chose.
yeah. There was a moment of being like, oh, someone has to do something, and you get so sick of waiting for somebody else to do it that even if this crashes and burns, I'll know, hey, I tried, and it's
Yeah.
not perfect, but damn it, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. Let's talk. Let's lean into that. I want to give my listeners some backstory. You can go do the research on Sage. There's plenty of information out there about the farm and how it started. And ultimately, there came a point. And so I'd love to know what that point was because you were young. You were in your early 20s.
Yeah,
What were you noticing about the industry? And speaking, I'm in the money industry, but I don't know a lot about farming. I
yeah,
know about mass farming, and I'm educated enough to understand that there are some trends in farming that need to change.
yeah, absolutely.
Did you wake up in the middle of the night and say "fuck this," or what happened?
So, during college, I went to school at Montana State University. I was getting my degree in agricultural education, and I was putting myself through college while working in restaurants. And I loved everyone that I worked with, and I loved all these chefs and the integration of like restaurants and tourism in Montana is so neat and intermingled. And right down from the ingredients that we would unbox that took forever to get here, and then the quality was low, right down to like sharing my tips with someone who wasn't going to make rent that month. Like, I'm like, man, like there needs to be something different. Or even the restaurants that we were working with, some of them couldn't stay open during peak tourism season because there's nowhere for anybody to live.
Yeah,
You have tons of people who want to work there. You have tons of people who like have the expertise who want to make this place a community, and there's nowhere for them to live. And so
there's nowhere affordable for
there's
them to
nowhere
live.
affordable. No, we have whole neighborhoods out here that are entirely Airbnb. Like they're empty for majority of the season because there's no money to be made in the wintertime.
Yeah.
After the Corona boom, there was huge buyouts of these like right down to like cute little double wides with like no view, but and no plow in the driveway. But those were Airbnbs too. And so the
Wow.
families that lived there had to find somewhere else. And the wife was a housekeeper at one of the local small hotels, and the husband was a line cook. And their kids went to the local school. So all of a sudden, this whole population of people was no longer able to live in this area. And I'm like, this isn't right. Like, we
Yeah.
have to do something. Like, we have to do something. If I
Right.
want this place to stay a community, I need to figure out a way to make everybody stay. And that's how this project was really born.
Yeah.
So
And so
we'd
now,
been farming. Yeah, we'd been farming for a little while and supplying a bunch of local restaurants and hospitals and involved with the farm to school program a little bit. But this year was really the turning point where I'm like, man, if we don't do something now, something we'll wish we had.
So now how many people do you have living at the farm?
Currently zero because it's November. But over the course of the summer, we circulated several individuals through. At the end of the year, we had 6 committed people, and I'm so lucky because all 6 of those people said, hey, I can't wait to be here. We'll be here in May. See you then.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, we have the opportunity to bring on a new room where there's a new room available for us to be able to fix up and doctor and make available for a new person.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I told you a little bit about this, but my core group of people came to me sat me down and said, hey, the point of this farm and the point of this project is to like support the community as much as we can. And they said, how about instead of us bringing on someone else from out of state, we bring on someone who is aged out of the Montana foster care system.
Hmm.
Like, you have to bust a new acre anyway. Why don't we, any profits that we make off of this, would you be comfortable setting it aside for this person who's then going to enter the world after that summer? And so when I was done crying and trying to act tough in front of these people, I'm like, yeah, that's a beautiful idea. And it's really cool to have seen this project grow.
Yeah, that is. It's beautiful. And it's a project, but
Yeah.
it could be the future. It could
Yeah.
be the future of farming. What you're doing specifically is you're creating not just amazing whole food for communities and for a national park, but you're providing housing, which is not normal in your industry. Can you explain what's not normal about that?
Yeah. Our housing is, so if you do have farm housing, it is provided to like full-time employees on a farm. Like, this is their whole goal, this is their whole thing. And that's not what we wanted to do. I mean, we wanted people to have the opportunity to make art and have other little jobs and have a family and pursue the things that really make us human.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of having it be like work related housing, we don't actually have any employees, we have volunteers. And if the volunteers choose to stay, we have housing available to them. And it's
Okay.
not fancy. It's more bunkhouse style. You get a bedroom and a bathroom and a kitchen and a living room that you share, but it's pretty cute. But we only ask for 15 hours a week. And so they have plenty of time to go pursue the things that they want to do. And what they want to do is work in the community. We have people
Right.
who help out with, the local schools. We have people who help out with local chefs and drag those chefs to the farm to do farm to table events. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a, it's a beautiful process. Man, there would need to be some core changes in the way that we produce food. Like, God bless anybody who's willing to like take that on. Like, a very small percentage of the US feeds everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I want more people to understand the education behind it. I would want more farms to involve others to be able to be like, hey, I want to teach you how to do this so then you can go on and do it yourself. I
Right.
think if we were able to create these centers of education around the food system and to welcome more people to stay and be involved, we'd be able to create more farmers
Mm-hmm.
and more people who are willing to lead the charge themselves.
Yeah, because food scarcity is a big conversation right now in the country.
Big
Huge.
conversation. It's
And
a it's a big one.
we're literally less than a week out of the government being shut down for a month, which food
Yeah.
insecurity was the conversation in the news in our community in Las Vegas, too. My husband and I volunteer at the pantry, and there's this perception that there isn't enough food, but it's not a food problem, is
It's
it?
not.
Yeah.
The US way
What are the problems?
The US wastes incredible amounts of food. There are no systems in place to be able to move that along. Other nations across the world like have a program where if something nears an expiration date, it becomes available to those in need. And man, one of the things that we're all going to experience in this lifetime, whether it be our own or be the greed of others, is greed. And what we do is we've opened it up to say like, hey, if you don't believe in this, like, here's an opportunity to do something about it. I physically don't have enough hands to be able to pull 400 pounds of turnips out of the ground to donate to my
Yeah.
community. But if you'll come help me, that's just one more that I will be able to donate.
Yeah.
And my community flooded me. They're like, yep, we'll be there. I'll help you. We had help from outside organizations as well. Like Food Shed is an awesome organization that makes local produce available to the masses. And they helped me even deliver to the food bank, which was awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's incredible. This season is disruption. So I've had multiple experts on and multiple people in all kinds of different. I've had a doctor come on talking about what's disrupting for women specifically in the healthcare industry right now.
Yeah.
I had a real estate professional come in and we're talking about disrupting in that industry. And for you right now, this is a huge disruption for the food industry, which
Yeah.
could be massive in implication in the United States. We're seeing it in other countries working so well. And what I heard you just say is that it's not even a human resource problem. because people want to come and help and be a part of their own process. So it's not a labor problem. What's the problem? Why can't we get more fresh food to more people?
Ability, and the cost of everything. I mean, we deliver into Yellowstone in a broken down van that I got secondhand. It's fluorescent yellow, or in a Toyota Tacoma. It is land out here to be able to not only grow things but house people. It's $100,000 an acre with no electricity and no water. And so you have to have people and organizations that are willing to like move greed out of the way for the furtherment of other projects. And I lucked out, and I'm so grateful because I kicked down the doors of those organizations, was like, do you want to do this? And they said, yeah. But more people need to be able to stick their neck out to be like, this can work. There is a way through this. There is an alternative. And when we're able to do that, more people are like, you know what? Heck yeah.
Yeah. As a woman, having other women now as farmers, what inspires you about that? Because that's not the typical, and again, everything that you're doing is atypical, but now we're seeing women farmers with other women, not just volunteers, coming to live, coming to work. How cool is that? But what is that? What do you see possible there for women?
Man, what I see is people who are willing to be that giver. Like every woman I work with, all my best friends are like, hey, like I'm willing to give you this time, or like I have this extra, or like I want to learn this. I don't have the money to give this to you, but I have the expertise in this. If you don't want to learn this, is there someone who does? Can there be this exchange in good faith? Can there be this forward motion towards improvement, towards like real change? And I believe that more women now are willing to see that there is the opportunity to change. We don't need to be stuck in these ways. And the biggest difference I've seen is, man, nothing fuels a movement quite like spite. And
Right.
yeah, the first ever farm I ever leased, it was awesome. I learned a lot, but I received an accidental voicemail where they didn't know that they called me, and they were very dismissive of myself as a farmer and as a female farmer. And I've saved it, and I share it at the beginning of the year when we start. Man, most of the time it's now just laughs associated with it, and like, look how far we've come, and this person didn't believe that we could, and man, we did.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it lights that fire to say that you can't, and then to have so many women, so many people be like, yep, not only can we, but we're going to.
Absolutely. So amazing working conditions. I mean, you're in Montana, so it's cold, but whatever.
It's cold, full of grizzly bears. Every volunteer's room comes with a can of bear spray.
But other than that, other than the fact that it's cold and there are bears, you have quality sleeping, quality housing, quality food. You're treating your people with care and with dignity. You're doing it legally.
Yep.
You're building community. And what is it costing you to do this? Because the perception that we have in the media is that, or that I've learned, is that there is no money in farming. And then I just heard you say that the land is really expensive.
Yeah.
What is it other than human capital and some of it's volunteer capital? How are you making this work?
Yeah, that's the interesting part. I hope to break even every year, and we're really grateful to have the Yellowstone connections. I have the most amazing chefs that I work with in town who are willing to be like, oh my God, I have, 400 extra pounds of Napa cabbage. And one of my chefs will be like, yep, we'll take it. We'll do 2 rounds of kimchi this week. Don't even worry about it. And so really like what makes the difference for me is like having that connection. Like this is one big circle. It is, I grow the produce that goes to the restaurants, that hires the people who volunteer on the farm, who are then paid to, they go out to said restaurants, and I love my community because it's everybody sharing the same $20 bill. And really, if we don't make a cent in profit, like a healthy man wants for many things and a sick man wants for one. And right now there's so much sickness of like the heart and the soul and the spirit, where it's just seeking community and to be a part of something bigger. Every time that I'm like, hey, did you have a good day? And someone will give me just a rattled off story of like their experience, not only on the farm, but the people that we're living with, or the connections that they've made here, like that. Even if I just make that, that's
Mm-hmm.
enough.
Yeah. And it sounds like there's lots of different ways, and I'd love to dig into your money personality, because before
Please.
we hopped on, even, and if you haven't taken your money personality test yet, take it. It's going to be in the show notes, and that's all over my YouTube channel. Is that there are these different money personalities, and you spoke into brilliantly what your currency is, and we need money. Yes, what you're doing as a giver money personality is you're using your strengths and your currency, which is people and the earth,
Yeah.
to create sustainable living. That's what
Yeah.
you're doing real time because of who you are.
Yeah. Thank you. That made me feel way better. My test was like very emotionally triggering. So I appreciate
Yeah.
you putting it like that. Yeah.
What was emotionally triggering for you about it?
Oh, it was going through the list and being like, hey, are you willing? Do you pay for others even when you know you shouldn't? I'm like, yep. Are you willing to pay your more than your fair share for the betterment? I'm like, absolutely. And just my experiences this year and the people that I've met and the experiences that what I've had with them, I'm like, oh man, like I did all that. But in the end, like, we threw out a room to a single dad and he couldn't work as many hours, but he brought his children and they collected seeds for me. And I'm like, wow, like that's a core memory for them and me forever. I'm like,
Totally.
maybe that's worth more than the extra $20 I could have made on that day.
What it sounds like is everyone wins, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
giver money personality. Is it isn't just about you and eternal profit and making sure that you're taken care of first. It really is a paradigm shift of what you've created at Yellowstone Farmstead, is that you're okay and everyone else is okay,
Yeah.
and that everyone eats, everyone lives, everyone has each other. And if we go back to the basics, isn't that what we're all looking for anyway?
That's wealth.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. It's a new economy that you're birthing.
Yeah. Birth is painful.
Gosh, it's so painful. It's so
Yeah.
painful. If I could share all of the stories, and being in the money industry, there's such a stigma around, well, she has to have zillions and zillions of dollars to know what she's talking about. And that's
Yeah.
exactly why I started my podcast, is to say there are so many ways for us to be happy and healthy. And it doesn't require every human being to be a billionaire in order to make that happen. What it requires is people, and in my world, in your world, women standing up, stepping up, doing what we can do. You're taking all of the history and all of the knowledge that you've accumulated over generations, and you're saying the world can do better. And you're
Yeah.
showing the way. You're showing the way real time. How could someone listen to this and take this back to their own community and implement some of the things that you've created real time at Yellowstone?
Yeah. Um, I would say that if you see an opportunity to do something for your neighbor, if you see an opportunity to do better or fill a need, and you just need a little bit of help, ask for it and watch the magic. You'd be surprised how many people are seeking the opportunity to create that. And you are not alone, even though everyone wants you to feel that way. That's what I'd say. Try.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do you do on the hard days?
Oh man, I have amazing friends. I have amazing friends. I always seek to create, like a real work-life balance for the people who volunteer on the farm. And I do not extend that to myself, and I really should. But on the hard days, I have friends whom I call. I have my good friend Jen Walker, who's always there to kick me in the pants when I'm feeling down on myself. I have my neighbor Cindy, who knows I'm exhausted and terrified of butterflies. I know it's silly, but we release butterflies on a children's project where we sponsor caterpillars into classrooms, and then they release butterflies into either the greenhouse or the farm. And I can't do that. And so she comes in to fill that gap with a plate of chocolate chip cookies. And I'm like, wow, like I'm so grateful to have the opportunity when like something's too hard for me or when something's too much. So I have these amazing friends who are willing to be like, nope, nope, keep going. You're going to do okay.
Yeah.
And just the extreme belief in that. I live in a
Right.
small town, and, I'm not exempt from having a town job. I'm always going to put my money where my mouth is. So I work 2 days a week at a local restaurant, and man, I have amazing people who come in once a week to be able to be like, saw what you did. Like, good for you. Keep going. Like, hey, this is amazing. And like, sometimes like that's all I need. But yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. What would you, looking forward, how old are you now? Because you were 23 when you started. How old are you today?
Yeah. On October 1st, I turned 30 years old.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 30s.
Woo, I felt 30 for so long. For like since I was 21, I've been telling people I was 32. So I
Yeah,
killed the magic myself, but here I
yeah.
am.
I have the privilege of coaching and mentoring women that are in their late 20s, getting closer to 30, and that there's a perception of something that life is changing. Life is different when you get into your 30s. What do you hope for this decade for yourself and for the farm?
Man, I have vowed to enter 30 fearless. I have vowed to, like, if something like seems scary or seems difficult or like it might not work out, the worst that can happen is it might not work out. And wouldn't you have rather tried? And
Mm-hmm.
so, we're branching out. We're extending a handout to other young people who want to do something differently. We were approached by someone who wants to do sustainable weddings, and so we're like, "Yep, we'll welcome you here." We've reached out. Someone reached out to us about talking to our neighbors about geothermal, but they're terrified and scared. They don't know how to start that conversation because they're very new. I'm like, you know what? I'll make an introduction. Like, you go, girl. Let's do this. And just the commitment to like enter 30 fearlessly and like encourage others to do the same.
Yes,
So
I hope so too. I know so. I know so. People, no pun intended, I guess, but people are hungry for this.
yeah,
Hungry for this. That there's so much more meaning to life than just money. Yes, we
yeah,
need money to make things work, but there are so many ways that we can make it work without so many resources too. And ultimately, what I see happening for you on the farm, and what I'm hearing you say, is that it takes a whole lot of resources, but not necessarily dollar to make
yeah,
it work.
absolutely. It
And it just
takes
takes courage and
time.
creativity and time
Yeah,
and heart.
yeah, yeah. You gotta love it. You gotta love it and love each other, even when it's hard. And I'm really grateful. My volunteers really love it. Like, and farming is so hard. And this end of this year has been so hard. But even after like a hard day, we had a couple extra hours and they're like, hey, we've got a couple extra boxes that we didn't use for delivery this week. And I have several loaves of sourdough that I didn't end up like giving away. Like, we know that we can contact somebody to find out who might need a little extra box of food this
Mm-hmm.
week. Like, let's go and sneak it onto someone's porch. And I'm so grateful that they have not only like the heart, but the energy to be able to be like, yep, I have one more like increment of energy and I'm going to give it away.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yeah.
What I learned from that is you can be as sneaky as you want trying to drop off boxes of food, but everyone has a Ring doorbell and or cameras somewhere, and you're just going to get a lot of photos of yourself looking really silly. So,
It's all good. It's all good. Have you had to make any compromises of yourself in order to pursue your dreams?
when I went into this, when I graduated from college, I had a really good job in sales for a well-known agricultural company. And you can be really good at something and hate it. And I remember wanting to do this and knowing that like agriculture and like the healing of people was going to be in my calling. I worked in a retirement community in a memory care ward for a while where we built sensory gardens, and that was big but like not big enough. And honestly, my husband Chester was like, you know what, try it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I ran it by my friends, they're like, try it. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? And giving up a job where you made a lot of money to commit to a job where you're not going to make a lot of money at all, but you're going to make a lot of difference and a lot of impact. Like, was it really a sacrifice? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, be, having being I'm someone who started my life over at the age of 37, and
Yeah.
I did all the right things as a
Yeah.
20 something. I pursued the career and got married and had the kid and bought the house, and my kid's almost 18. I love him. I'm so glad I did that, but I did the thing that you're just speaking
Yeah.
into, and at 37 years old it all came crashing down because it wasn't purposeful. And so
Yeah.
This episode is for the givers specifically, for those of you who have a big heart, who have a big dream, and know that you may have to compromise something financially in order to get there. And what I'm hearing you say, Sage, is that it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Every minute, every scrape knee, every extra dollar, like it's worth it.
Yeah.
Just having kids out to the farm, it's the turnip kids. This is my favorite story is, if you're willing to give some and there's a little extra, like you'll never know what you get back. And so we had some children out from a local education organization come out to the farm and we were learning about planting. And so I gave them instructions to grab one handful of turnip seeds. And when you give toddlers the opportunity to grab one handful of turnip seeds, they grab two and put the other one in their pocket. Well, everywhere on the farm, we had an irrigation pipe explode and it like ruined a section of turnips for us. But I'm not worried about it because I can actually see where all those little kids went all over the farm because their little pockets were dropping turnips. And so growing by the bathrooms is a big patch of turnips, like growing in the walkways are turnips. And we had no loss on those this year because, they took a little extra, but we got a lot back in return, even if it wasn't on purpose. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, take from that what you can.
That's right. That's right. So there is enough. There is creativity. Yeah. There is community. There are women coming together in your location specifically to do what you can do. It's totally possible. And I believe that you are in the middle of it. You're 30. So there's so many years to go. When you're in the middle of it, you can't see it, but you are disrupting in a major way the future of food on the planet today. And I'm
Thank you. It means a lot to me. Sometimes you need a little cheering on.
I'm here for it. I'm like the biggest cheerleader. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, please reach out to Sage. Please let her know that you are inspired by her and her story. Is there anything that you need from the community right now? What can people do to pitch in and support?
Oh man, in the spirit of what this farm is all about, like if you can, you must. If you can give to your neighbor or there's someone in need or you have the time or the ability to do something for somebody else, do that.
Yeah.
Especially as there's still a lag on food accessibility. Like even if it's going to take a little extra time, it's going to mean the world to somebody else. Please do that.
That's right. That's right. We need a whole lot less than we think that we do most of the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We're going to round out the show. Thank you for being here today.
I'm happy to be here. This was great.
Yeah. We're going to round out the show with a rapid fire round. It's my favorite game to play with kids, and it's my favorite game to play on car rides. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. It's called This or That.
Okay.
Okay. Goats or sheep?
Goats.
Save first or spend with intention?
Spend with intention.
Tractor or ATV?
Tractor.
Mountains or ocean?
Mountains.
Chickens or ducks?
Oh, chickens.
I had to throw the farm questions in here.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Bring it on.
Cash or card?
Cash.
Abundant mindset or practical planning?
Practical planning.
I love that. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Yeah. Nothing like a good cup of coffee and a sunrise, right?
Oh, on a tractor while giving directions.
It's all the vibes.
Okay.
It's all the vibes.
Awesome crew that greet me with coffee in the morning when I get there. Exactly the way I like it. I'm so grateful. It makes all the difference for me sometimes. Usually it's, here's your coffee, this broke.
You sound like my husband. That's amazing. Okay, so I know you have a TikTok following. Is that the best place for people to follow you, or what's the best place where you want people to go?
Honestly, Instagram. We update our stories daily. If you're interested in the what goes on behind the scenes, or meeting the people who volunteer on the farm, or right down to meeting the barn cats who actually keep the place running, the Instagram is the place to go. Also, I'm always on there willing to reach out. TikTok's still a little new for me. We had kind of a changeover of hands of social media. And so, yeah, if you look us up on Yellowstone Farmstead and Sugar Bee, come on through. I'd love to see you.
Yeah, for sure. So make sure you go and you follow, what did you say? Yellowstone Farmstead at Sugar Bee?
Yellowstone Farmstead and Sugar Beet Farms. So those are the Instagram. If you look up Yellowstone Farmstead, you'll see us.
Okay, perfect. And then anything else you want a young woman listening to the show to know today?
Man, if stop waiting for somebody else to do it. It is better to do it and know that you tried than to wait for somebody else. Be fearless. Keep trying.
It's you. It's you. I love that. Thank you, Sage.
Thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Awesome.